Speaking of autopsies, we had an election this week that I think a lot of folks will be taking notes and taking lessons from. Ronna, top lines, and then we'll dig into each of the races more specifically, but top lines, what's your takeaway from what happened this week?
Well, I do think the Democrats learned from 2024. They talked about the economy. I mean, that was the driving force, affordability, whatever everybody says about Mamdani, and I do think he's overpromised and he's a little bit of an emperor with no clothes. We'll see what happens in New York with some of the things he promised. But he ran on an affordability agenda, and he understood that people are worried about rent, they're worried about housing, they're worried about utilities, they're worried about the cost of living. And so they stuck on those issues. They haven't always done that. That was smart for them. But I also am not going to get, my head down and be over dramatic. These were blue states. Democrats won. New Jersey isn't a state we have typically won. Virginia isn't either. And I also think there's 1,000 news cycles that are going to happen between now and next November. But the Democrats obviously had a good night.
Donna?
Well, there's no question. It was a good night for Democrats. It was a good night for the country. Look, in addition to New Jersey and Virginia, where Trump again made inroads in 2024, Democrats were able to go back and expand, win in practically every major county in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The youth vote really was the difference. Right. In 2024, I call it a testosterone shift. I hope I can say that on C-SPAN. There was a testosterone shift among young voters toward Donald Trump because they believed Trump was listening to them. Trump heard them. Trump was trying to address their concerns about affordability and the American dream, access to the American dream. This time we had candidates who were laser focused on the economy, rising prices, and talking about delivering for the people. I mean, Abigail Spanberger, she said, I'm going to put Virginia first. She used Trump language. And she wasn't talking. You notice in her victory speech, she mentioned Washington, chaos, recklessness, but she didn't say Trump, Trump, Trump. Now, and New Jersey. Now, Mikey Sherrill had a different race, and I thought that was a sleeper race where the Republicans could make gain for two reasons. One, it's hard to win a gubernatorial race 3 times in a row. She was able to do that, so she beat that curse. And also Jack,
Chiatarelli.
Yeah, well, I just call him Jack. Jack came within 3 percentage points in 2021. Right. And yet she was able to go back into Bergen County, go into Passaic.
It was a blowout.
It really was, and I was shocked. Look, there's no question that the youth vote helped the Democratic Party. Democrats lost touch with young people, lost touch with working class voters, lost touch with minority voters. This time, the coalition, they put together a real strong coalition.